Welcome, everyone. My name is Eleni Summershields. You are on our podcast today for Power Up Your Real Estate Marketing Strategy with my friend here, Jeremias. Well, do you want me to say it the right way? Jeremiah.
Do it again.
Because I don't call you
Good.
that. I just call you Jay.
Yeah,
Jeremias J-Man Monero. So I don't call you, I call you Jay. So
that's true. You're like, it's too much. It's
it's
now Jay. That's
It's
it.
just Jay.
Yeah,
So that's what
yeah.
I call him. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about all things marketing related, what you guys should be doing in 2023 to kind of power up and level up your marketing. There's a lot of things that can be done, that should be done. Um, I always love those images on Facebook that realtors share, like crazy things that realtors see or whatever. And there's like a staircase to like the toilet or whatever. It was like a thing that I saw. It's like, oh my, that's
So many
so
things that we see.
interesting.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
interesting. So we're going to try and help you guys avoid some of those, mishaps on what you're saying, what you're doing, and give you maybe a good course, hopefully a good course on what you should be communicating to your
Audience.
to your members, yeah, to your audience. There you go.
To your people. To your people.
Yes. So, oh, I see Nick is on. If you guys wouldn't mind posting in the chat
Hey, Nick.
where you're coming from. I love seeing where everyone is coming from. We've got a pretty large audience today, so I'd love to see in the chat. Just post what city, state, and your brokerage that you're with, and how many years you've been in the business. I love seeing that. So there's a lot of
Nashville,
well, someone's from
Toledo,
Pakistan. I love
Atlanta.
that. Pakistan,
Pakistan.
cool.
We're internationally known.
We are
I-
internationally
Now I gotta
known.
now I gotta change my rap. I used to say I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock the microphone. But now I
See,
am.
I've made it possible for you. There you go.
Thank you.
I have no idea that we were all the way out in Pakistan.
Little
So
Rock,
welcome
Arkansas,
everyone. And I see a lot of
Texas.
people, my friends from Chicago and Florida, Boston. I love Boston area too. So we're gonna get into it because there's a lot to be said on this topic. I mean, Jay, you and I can talk about this we can talk
All
for
day.
hours just on on any topic, but kind of there's been a thing where, especially in the beginning of the year, you might get, I know things have been happening that are kind of not as great of a market as it was maybe 6 to 9 months ago, right? But that shouldn't, right? That
That's so
shouldn't
nice.
discourage
That
you.
was such a nice, maybe not as busy as it used to be, perhaps, maybe.
Perhaps, right? And so you want to make sure like that you still stay motivated. There's still you
Right.
got to have some motivation in you. They're just you have to dig deep sometimes and find that and get on here. Jay and I were just talking before I pressed the live button. It's we were saying, would you say 1 out of 10 hours of things that you talk about
Oh yeah.
is
It's just,
powerful?
I like to record video a lot, even when I'm just like, behind the scenes before we start. Cause you never know when you're going to say something
Yeah.
impactful or that you want to remember. But 1 out of every 10 hours that I talk, something good's going to come out. And so just finding that nugget.
Yeah. And and I think this topic, this marketing strategies, is a really important topic because you don't get many second chances to, in life, and a second chance to reintroduce yourself is kind of rare, but there are definitely ways to do that, especially because I hear so often from people like, I have people in my database from like 10 years ago that I haven't talked to. What do I say to them? It's like, well, how about start with a hello? Hi,
Right.
how are
Hello.
you?
Is it me you're looking for? I'm
Exactly.
sorry I haven't stayed in touch. I feel
Right.
bad. I'm trying to reconnect.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like the more honest and transparent you can be, people understand that we all make mistakes, but let's reconnect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think there's ever any shame in that. I mean, I know I do it. There's sometimes, life kind of gets the best of you. I know, I'm a busy person, and it can be a challenge when you have a fairly large database, as most of you probably do, to even if you have as little as like 200-300 people in your database. That's still a lot of people to stay connected with consistently all the time, right? And
Right.
doing
Right.
that without technology can be difficult, I think.
Yeah,
I can't.
Terry said she got a lead yesterday from 17 years ago. Terry, I started 17 years ago.
Yeah.
So congrats.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's true, because like when you get so when you go back into your database and say, hey, well, I know we haven't talked in a while, but you were on my mind. I was thinking about you. What are some of the things, Jay, that you how do you start off that conversation? Do you have any good tips on any of that?
Well, I mean, it depends on the platform, right? So if you're already connected with them, so there's a little bit of a rapport there. Sometimes it's just as easy as like I like Messenger and I like Instagram DM. Text messaging, I feel like if you haven't been in touch for a while, it's almost less formal. Like,
Yeah.
why are you texting me? I haven't heard from you in 10 years. But if a Facebook message isn't the same,
Yeah.
and so it's just like, Eleni, how are things? Something as easy as that. Or you add something to your story, or you're somewhere, comment, reply, interact with that person as a human being. Or if they get, if they get a promotion, or it's their birthday, or it's the holidays, like, send them a message. Don't just, post on their timeline like the other 100 people. It says, happy birthday.
Or HBD,
Don't be
right?
like everybody else. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
put HBD, you don't have enough time to say happy birthday, and you're doing it on the timeline. Like, we're not friends anymore. I need space for new friends. So I appreciate that. Like, boop, boop. Like,
I'm always like, you can make that a shortcut. So if like you're saying happy birthday all that often, like just make a shortcut on your phone that's like, whenever I type in HBD, just write out the whole word happy birthday. And,
yeah.
And then you still only type out HBD, but the other person thinks that you took the extra 20, milliseconds to write.
Seriously.
So yeah. So I hear that all the time. And when we were preparing for this, we prepare for these podcasts and everything weeks in advance. It's not something that we do like the night before, even though the night before is when I start preparing for things typically. But as we started coming up to yesterday's prep call with Jay here, I said to him, my team is doing something really cool. We're releasing it soon. I think I can get them to release it tomorrow. I'm like, and I know Jay and I have connected just because we both love technology, and we,
Yeah.
through the circuit of things. But we both are tech people at heart. And so I want to announce today this really cool integration. And so I'm going to give you guys a sneak.
Are you going to announce it?
I'm going to announce
I
it. Is
want to
that
do a
okay?
drum roll.
You want to do a drum roll? We can do it. You can do the sound effects, my friend.
Okay. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Drum roll, please.
There you go. So I'm like, oh, that's
Ta-da!
So ta-da. So what we've done in Wise Agent is, for people that are like, gosh, I don't know what to say. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. What we've done is we've added in our content library. So if you go to marketing and you go to your content library here, there's a section, and you go to create letter or email content, or even create text content. There's a section right here that just was added like about an hour and 10 minutes ago called AI Writing Assistant. Okay, so if you guys have been, watching the news or online anywhere, you probably heard of something called Chat GPT. And it's something that was created for, it's not a chat bot where, you think of, you ask it a question and, and it just kind of goes out and searches the internet. This is something from machine learning. It's artificial intelligence. This is something like really intuitive. And so what we've done is we've added this feature into Wise Agent. And here's the really cool part about it. I mean, there's so many cool things about it.
So many.
Too many cool things. First and foremost, because I'm sure this is going to be a question, is that it's free. Okay, so this does not cost you anything.
Say it again.
Yeah, this is free.
Your favorite F word, everybody.
The only F word I allow on this podcast.
Free.
Free, right? And so so the way it works is this is a writing assistant that will help you. So when you have that, like, gosh, I want to reply back to an email, or I want to write an email about this listing, or I want to write a quick text message to somebody, or whatever it is that you have that writer's block, or maybe you're just not feeling like you're confident enough in your words, you can come here and you can enter in the prompt. So and you can do, and I gotta cheat here for a second, because I think I may have copy and paste it over something. So
Oh,
I was talking to Brandon this morning, and he was like, "Oh, I just love this feature," And so we were going on and on about the this functionality, and he's like, "Look at what I just did." He's like, "I just put in here, write a short blog about Gainey Ranch, that's a neighborhood here in Scottsdale, and put it in the Shakespeare tone." Okay.
stop it. Okay, let's see. Let's see.
So I'm going to just, so this is going to write a short little blog, and this is going to be added into your content library for you. Okay. And so what it does is it will, like, all hail and celebration, hearken ye. I mean, it will just, I know. I was like, should I show this? It's a little,
yeah, it's
it's,
great. I like it. It's different, right? It
it's
sticks
different.
out.
Like,
Yeah.
so you can do whatever. I mean, you can do it with, I mean, any kind of thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be Shakespeare. It could be in anything. Put it in kind of so you can kind of make it yourself, and it will write out this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
So one of our prompts will say, like, you could put, like, write an email about why someone should move to whatever neighborhood in
And serve
whatever
your
city.
Yeah.
Right. So,
And
yeah.
I like what you did with the Shakespearean tone. Like, if you want to be more funny, but you're not, you could say, please rewrite this in a more humorous tone. Or if you're from New York, you could say, please write it in a more direct tone. And it'd be like more like a New York style. It's amazing. Really, I think it's limitless. You just got to get more and more creative, even for those who are creative, like us, right? I mean, we're creating so much. I do 2 live streams a week. I have limitless sessions that I do. And so there are days where I'm like, cuckoo, I don't got nothing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
Right.
an
Yeah.
idea.
There's time.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we were saying, is that if you're thinking, like, what should I say to somebody, or I have this listing and I don't know how to describe it, right, in an eloquent way, is you can come here and put in here, like, write a description, and I can't talk and type at the same time. I just have to do
an
gibberish.
MLS description,
Right.
a public description, because some of you are going, honey, stop the car. This property boasts, like, how many these properties really have to stop bragging, because they don't, they've been doing it for 30 years now, and you use all the cliches like, this one won't last, real cream puff. Time to get to GPT, baby, and take your creativity to a whole nother level.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's exactly that. It will help you write an email, write a blog, write a song. I asked for it to write a song about bird watching in the desert while it's raining. And it, like, wrote this whole entire song. And then I said, well, now write an email promoting that song. I mean, it goes on and on. The possibilities are endless. And it's such an exciting time where this is presented to you in a way where you don't have to figure out all the other stuff. So you don't have to go and create a Chat GPT account. You don't have to, like, I was on their actual site earlier this morning, and the servers were down because there's a lot of people. Like, we've made this within our system, right, within Wise Agent. So you're not going to OpenAI and everything else there, where you have to figure out, like, what you have to do. You just come into your content of library here, click this little AI assistant, and we even have it on the text content, right? So if you're like, I want to write a text message to somebody, so I'm going to come here, and it says, write a text message inviting J-Man to lunch at, I don't know, I can only think of burger.
In a sarcastic and humorous tone.
Tomorrow at 1. Right. So now I don't know. I don't really go to Burger King, but that's the only thing that I can think of. So that everybody would know. So this is, and it'll write the text. I click on this little, the prompt that's been written, and it says, hey, J-Man, let's do lunch tomorrow at Burger King, 1 p.m. See you then. Right. So now I can,
if you didn't like it, you could say rewrite in another tone like you did before.
And then I can save this in my content of library. So then when I'm sending out all my bulk messages, inviting people to an open house, so I can say, write to, a text message inviting them to an open house at 123 Main Street on Saturday at 10. It will write that content for you. You save it in here saying invitation to open house. And now when you go to text people, it will be there. So this is something that's just really exciting, to, for everyone, because you don't have to have that writer's block anymore.
Well, man, and like I'm taking your creative and mixing it with mine because it's like the Shakespearean tone, right? You want
Yeah.
to, let's say you've broken into a new neighborhood that you've been trying to get into, and you have an open house there. Okay, you go get some older type, Shakespearean type paper. I don't know what you call it, old English white paper kind of stuff,
The
and then
scroll.
print scroll. Yeah,
Yeah.
scroll with like a string and like a wax. Like this is really getting creative, but like with the wax seal, and then you have
Yeah.
it right for you in a Shakespearean tone to promote the open house. Like,
Yeah.
hear ye, they open house on the hill shall,
Right.
like that's stuff
Absolutely.
that people remember. Like if I'm this creative and inviting you to a freaking open house up the street, imagine what I could do for you in the sale of your home,
Yeah.
right? Do things that are better, but also different.
Yeah. And that will set you apart from everybody else. It will
Right.
set you apart, because now people are that's going to be memorable. I mean, if you get a scroll sent delivered to you, inviting you to an open house with a seal
With a,
and the
yeah, with a date
hear
seal on it.
ye. I mean, you're going to remember that for life. You're going to be like, "Hey, I need to list my house. Who was that one guy that delivered this to the whole neighborhood?" Because we were all talking about it like years later.
Right.
That's what you want.
Well,
That's what you want.
follow up with a door knock and wear one of those old English wigs. See, like I got this keeps going, right? Door knock with, you know what I'm saying, like the wigs that they wear in the Parliament or whatever.
Yeah.
It would just be like knocking on the door, like, "Hey,
Hey,
I'm the town crier to tell you about the open house." And they're like, "This guy's a nut," and I'm like,
right.
"Yes, I am, and that's why you should do business with me."
Right. But that's, I mean, and that's what people want. People want to, feel joy. They want to feel happiness. They want something unique and different and memorable, right? I mean, that sticks with you. That sticks with you all, throughout. So someone's saying that we're funny. We do have a habit of being
Funny
goofy.
how?
Even, even yes, we do. And I'm looking through the chat here, and people are saying, like, "Oh, I've heard of this. I've heard of this through Marquis Lemons. She told me about this."
Yeah.
And Jay and I both love Marquis, and she's a good friend of ours. She posted something like about a week ago on Facebook, and I'm going to read her quote because I think it's just such a powerful thing that she said. She said, "AI will
AI will not
never
replace
replace a
I
realtor."
yeah. Oh man, I was hoping to say it at the same time as you. Okay, go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I was like, am I talking over you? AI will
Yeah.
never replace a realtor. However, a realtor with AI will replace a realtor without AI. And that, when I read that, I was like, oh, I want to call her right now. I'm like, Marky, I wanted to call her like that second and just tell her what we were working on, because it's such a powerful thing. It is going to make you totally distinguish you from the rest, because your emails, your blogs, your listing, all of your listing information on the MLS is going to sound so much more just a little bit more, just a little bit zhuzhed up a little bit. I'm going to use a word from my neighborhood growing up. It's just zhuzh it up a little bit. It's a Yiddish word.
Yeah.
It takes it up a notch, right? I mean, it just sounds a little bit better. It's a little bit more polished, more refined, especially if you're doing the whole Shakespearean thing, right? It'll definitely sound more polished. So
Well, it's like you could think of a theme for your marketing, right?
yeah,
That's different, distinct, memorable. And then you could do that throughout. Like if you're going to be cold calling, if you're going to be door knocking, if you're going to be sending emails, you'd be sending text messages, you're going to send direct mail. All of that can be within the same theme that the AI helps you with. And I was talking to somebody the other day about this. Imagine Iron Man, okay? Because I like superheroes. You see my Superman here.
yeah.
Imagine Iron Man without his what put it in the chat if you guys know what his AI was called. Where he's always like, "Hey, what's my battery level at? What's my?" Without it, he would have not been Iron Man. So
Yeah,
that's you guys, superhero realtors
exactly. Oh, someone's
with AI.
just answered Jarvis.
Jarvis, that's it. Dang it! I knew
Jarvis.
if I had multiple choice. Thank you, Eric. Eric wins
Yeah,
the prize.
exactly.
Congratulations.
Well, I think you all win the prize when you're using Wise Agent and you're getting this writing assistant for you, so you don't have that writer's block of, what should I say, and so you can even ask it, what should I say if I haven't talked to somebody in the last 10 years to reintroduce myself, or whatever it is, and you give yourself a bio. I mean, it's written a bio for me. I mean, it can do all sorts of things. It'll help you with your landing pages, the drip campaigns. It will change your whole entire marketing plan. going forward. From today going on, it will definitely be ways that you will be able to have a lot more content available to you, without you having to struggle to figure out how to write all that content and what to say in that content. So Karen saying, wow, this, I'm like, where are my glasses? Wow, this meets a huge need of ours as realtors. Good job, Wise Agent team. I'm like, what does that say? Yeah, so that, I mean, that is definitely a thing. So you can definitely, someone's asking, will it write a six touch drip campaign?
Yeah.
It will write all of that. I mean, it will write everything out for you. So obviously you're going to have to kind of break up the 6 touch. You'll have to play with that a little bit. I know Sarah, and maybe Sarah can talk to that a little bit more, because I know she's been playing around with all that stuff. But there's definitely things that will write for you in however the tone that you decide to write it in, right? So, I mean, as creative as Jay is, he didn't think about the Shakespearean thing. So write it in whatever way you want.
Well, and I just want to say that it's limited in that it won't have current events like what happened yet. If I talked about Buffalo Bills and Hamlin, like nothing will be in there about it, but you could actually update it and have it learn about your business. I'm actually going to do a video about that later on. So check out my YouTube channel. I'll be posting that by the end of the day tomorrow. Now that I've said it, now I have to do it.
Yeah.
So when you copy and paste your website into it, you can ask it, would you like to learn more about my business to help me with social media posts and writing ad copy? And it'll, like a good assistant, it'll say, yes, I would. Please tell me more about your business. And then you copy paste everything in and it learns about it. And then you can say, write this, write that.
Yeah,
it's really awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, it's something that will, and there's, Jay mentioned, and I'll go into a little bit of the technical stuff. I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to lose anybody. And
I'm going to go use it now.
They start like snoring. Oh, bye, I'm going to use it now. Saeed is saying that. Thanks, Saeed. We'll see you on the replay. But yeah, so this is using ChatGPT 3. So ChatGPT 4 is not quite out yet as far as an API is. So as soon as that gets updated, and part of what Wise Agent is known for is being the one that the CRM in the real estate industry that integrates with all technologies. I mean, we are the most integrated CRM, and it's a direct integration. It's not a Zapier or a, anything else. It's not like a third party thing. Like we, do all of the work on our end here. And if we can do it where it's, a free thing like this is right now, we will provide it to you at no extra charge, right? So we try and keep things as, cost effective as possible, as well as the technology is embedded within here. So it's all embedded within. So I'm really excited. This is going to be, something that will help anyone. I see Michael is asking, can this be used or programmed to answer inbound buyer seller marketing chat requests? So you can have, you can set it up where it will give you the answers and program it to, if you have another chat bot somewhere, like, okay, how do I respond in this scenario? You can. I've had it where you could take an email and insert that, like create a response to this email, and it will reply to that email, where I'm just like, I want to say like, nope, not possible, or whatever. And it's like, that's what I want to say. And this will say kind of that response for me in a more eloquent way. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways of using it. Did you have something else you wanted to add, Jay? Were you reading all the, there's a lot.
No, I was playing with my GPT. No, no, I was reading something here. I find AI interesting. However, I'd like to hear more about personable ways to leverage Wise Agent to connect with more clients. That's Jared's comment. So we're gonna get there, Jared. I promise. Maybe expand on that a little bit as far as what do you feel more personable ways to leverage. What do you mean by that? Because we're gonna give it all to you before the end of this webinar.
Yeah. So, I mean, being more personable, I mean, that's the whole purpose of the CRM, right? So when you meet somebody, after you have the conversation, go into your notes and, take your notes and note everything about them. Oh, I know Jay is a runner. I know he's got 2 kids. There's a whole, like everyone has their own bio, their own biography, and you want to kind of take note of that. And then you want to talk to them like you're referencing that biography, like them. Maybe you won't remember it, especially if it's taken you months or years to reach back out to them. That's why you put it in the notes, so you know how to speak to somebody. I know, Jay, you had something like, we were talking yesterday even a little bit about, because I didn't tell Jay until like 10 o'clock last night that we were going live with this.
Like,
I was like,
the last
I'm gonna like put a little kink in our webinar, but we were talking yesterday when we were preparing for this, is that it's not just the content, but it's also like your audience. So I know you have a great way of when the audience that you have and how you find your audience. So I'd love for you to share that with everyone.
Yeah. So when it comes to marketing, it's like identifying who your audience is, because you can't be all things to all people. You can't say, I would like human beings that want to buy real estate in the US. Like, you can't serve. When you try to serve everyone, you serve no one. And so I have specifically identified that my ideal clients is between the ages of 35 and 55, has school-aged children, makes six figures, and leads an active lifestyle. Because that's me.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I create my marketing content to attract my ideal client. Right. If you don't know me well enough, I'll do 90s real estate parody, real hip hop parodies.
Yeah.
I do fun stuff, and I love music. I'm passionate about music. And that's why you've heard me quote at least 3 songs already, and we're only 20 minutes into this. But if I do a 90s hip hop parody, my mom, who's 70 something, goes, oh my gosh, Hetty, she calls me Hetty because my name in Spanish is Jeremias. Hetty, that is so unprofessional. And I'm like, Ma, you're not my client. No offense, but you've been in the same house since 1987. You're not moving anytime soon, right? My ideal client hears a song, goes, oh shoot, that's next episode, or that's OPP, or that's get low, but it's get sold, right? The real estate version,
Right.
And so it's like, when you start to really dial in who your audience is, then you could also then go to the AI and say, hey, write me a hip hop real estate parody, or write me ad copy or Facebook ad that would attract a millennial client.
So I
now
did.
Your copy's dialed in. Did you do that?
I asked, write a song about selling 123 Main Street with a hip hop tune. And so look at it, wrote the verse, the chorus.
Let's go.
I mean, it's
we got to drop
a lot to it. So this, right. So and then all I do is click on it. It comes in here. Now I can save this, this song, and I can change, the address.
Wait, can you make it bigger so I can read it?
Yeah. Hold on.
We're gonna do this at some time soon. Yeah. Oh, gonna make a killing. What kind of a beat though? That's
I don't know the beat. I don't know the beat. I didn't ask it for the beat, but I mean, and Juliana's asking, can you sing it to us? I will not be singing this song. If Jay wants to take that on, give him a minute. I'm sure he's going to come up with the rhyme and the rhythm for it. But I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, this is the power of what this can do, what this AI writing assistant can do, is that that you can have it reach your audience the way that you speak, the way that you interact with people, right? If you're like Jay and you're a singer, he's a singer and a songwriter, I say, because he rewrites songs, right? You got it?
Oh, real estate investing. You guys ready? Oh, you love my lyrics.
Oh,
my lyrics.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, so sorry.
Gonna make a killing. Feel like I'm on a roll. Check out this address. I'ma be a gold mine. 1-2 Main Street. It's just about to become mine. Core selling. This is you.
Oh, selling 123 Street.
1-2 Main Street. Gonna get some change. Gotta fill it up with the cash and pour champagne. Real estate investing. Make a fat stack. 1-2 Main Street. It's time I take it back. Gonna use all of my savvy. Put forth on the mic. Gonna start renovating. Gonna bring it back. Life a big. No, let's go. Let's use a different beat.
Yeah, but that was, this is the power of it. I mean, if this is your thing to have that, oh my gosh, all these comments. So, it can be as hilarious and kind of off the wall as you want. If that's what matches your personality, then do it. Right. It's a little off the wall. I think you did great though, Jay. There you go. Are there
I just
real estate Grammy Awards?
The hardest part with any lyrics is the syncopation of the like how the beat is going. I could get it. We'll tune in next week.
You'll,
Yeah, we'll rock that out,
I know,
and we'll
because I
have
just
Eleni
sprung
doing the
it on you.
chorus. Uh,
But I mean, this is why I wanted to show that is because that's your personality. And so maybe
right.
that is what you would do and what you
Oops,
could,
sorry.
that's okay. But this is exactly what, I mean, that can be something that maybe you just do and you go on and you do a video about that song for selling that property. I mean, that's going to attract views. That's going to get, I mean, I'm just looking at all the comments here and what people are saying. It's something that's catchy and people want to listen in. I mean, they just do. It's just
Oh,
something
yeah, it
that catches
happens.
their attention. So yeah, so that's so how did you add the music? Oh, so Jay has a whole
I have a
setup.
whole setup.
Yeah, he's got a whole, yes.
Mhm.
But this is something that definitely any of you can be leveraging. You want to do it to, you want to write a song about a property using the hip hop tune or promote something with a Shakespearean, theme to it. You can do whatever and everything in between. So there is no limit. It is something, it's just going to be limited by your creativity and your imagination. But it's definitely something that, will be very powerful for you. So I know that this was kind of like a little off topic of what we were going to be saying, we were going to be talking about. I kind of hijacked the webinar
It's okay.
from you, but I was just too excited to not talk about this because it is something like that a lot of people have been talking about, in and out of the industry. This is changing things. I mean, I read a statistic the other day that this Chat GPT is able to write a resume for people. And there was like a study shown that 80% of those resumes were more likely to be hired, like those people with those resumes were being hired more than the ones that weren't using it. So you have to use it for the whole entire thing. You could use it for bits and pieces of things. So it's definitely something that we wanted you to know that this technology exists. We wanted to give you an easy way of using it so you don't have to go out and try and figure out how do you get an account, how do you do this, and what has to happen. So it's a really easy setup where you don't have to get any kind of an account. You just need, well, besides your Wise Agent account, you do need that. And besides that, you just click with the click of a button, type in your prompt, and then select which one that you want to use. So it's a really simple and easy. And I'm just, I'm glad that Jay, you were on the webinar when we did this, because I know you love this type of technology and you are on that
Well,
cutting edge of things.
like, I'm such a creative, and I love, like, okay, how can I use, because I don't just use, it's not just using technology, folks, right? It's how can you use technology to make you better? How can you use technology to make your personality better, your creative better, your marketing better? And so even if I take it and I put it in GPT, I then am still going to filter it back through and kind of just add my voice to it,
Right.
right? Because it is AI, and while it's using NLP, which is natural language processing, not neuro linguistic programming, it's still a little bit like, hello, how are you doing? A little bit. And so it's like add your spin to it, because there's also, because I know the next thing you guys are going to ask is, like, with the kids, they're creating AI to detect AI in reports and all the rest of that. So it's just like a whole nother
They
world.
are. I saw that team out of, I think it was out of UCLA, is writing an application to see if kids are turning in their homework that
Right.
was, writing a paper using Chat GPT, because that could be, a form of plagiarism, and just not doing your work, right? So this is definitely something that, you can use everything that it says. If you really like it, you can. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying that it probably would serve you better if you added some of your own flair to it and added some of the things to it. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be just the whole thing is AI. So we've got a couple of questions in here, but Jay, I wanted to just go back to some of the things that we were talking about earlier, and just like, how do you, how do
Yeah.
you figure out who your audience is? I know you said for you personally, you just, are just marketing to yourself basically. But I mean, if people are like, well, I'm not the type of person that would buy the luxury and I want to be in luxury. So what do they do if they're not, targeting just
Perfect.
themselves?
Yeah. So, again, this is where you could use AI, but it's like, okay, if I want to attract a luxury client, then I have to create marketing that attracts people that would buy luxury. So, who is that ideal person? Describe them however they might be. What are they making? What do they do? If I can afford $1 million property, I probably golf, or I might go boating, or I might be an equestrian, right? All these things that we would do because we have money to spend, right? And so like thinking about that and saying, oh man, here's the best kept secrets of the best 9 holes on the North Shore of Long Island.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, tell me more, right? Or if you're in Florida, there's a backlog for golf courses. So it's like, here are the a list of the top 5 golf courses that you can actually get on this year if you buy nearby, because
Right.
there's some people buying condos on the golf course and they can't even get on. There's a waiting list of 18 months, right? So creating marketing that attracts, and then downloadables, right? Like you can create a landing page within Wise Agent and say, here's my report on getting my luxury home ready for sale,
Right.
right? Again, if I have a luxury home, and think about it like this though too, people who have luxury homes don't just call them luxury homes, they're just homes.
Homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not like getting your look. Do I have a luxury home? Because that's different in every market. My median
Yeah.
sale price is a little over 200. So a luxury home in my market would be for 500K. You get a really nice house. But if you go to South Florida for 500K, you might get a condo, right?
Yeah.
A 1-bedroom condo. It's not the same. So identifying, what that is, what are their pain points, and then how are you helping them with those pain points? Like come from a position of contribution. Like what would you be wondering about and how can I help you with it? That's today's real estate agent. Like you give, 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 and then eventually you ask or they pick you because they value who you are.
Yeah, I love that. And I love what you were saying is that if if you kind of know what your target audience is, so if it's that luxury market or whatnot, you have to start thinking about it in that way. So maybe you can't afford the $1 million home or whatever it is, but you want to, be the one that lists those properties or sells those properties, then you have to start thinking like that. Sometimes, and I know plenty of agents that are maybe married couples with families, and they're selling to people that are single and no family. You have to put yourself in their position and just think about them. And then the nice thing to kind of tie that back with this AI is that you can, add that into your prompt, like, write this description for a family, this description of a 3-bedroom with whatever, and you can give the address and all that stuff for, make it sound like it's family friendly, make it sound like it's, more for a bachelor pad or whatever it is. That's what will help you. Is what will take it over the edge for you. And I'm kind of laughing here because I'm seeing all these comments. I see one from Karen. She had, I guess she's using the writing assistant while on the podcast here, and she's saying contract signed. The AI wrote, I guess, something. She prompted something, and she wrote contract signed. And now I'm feeling so fly, rocking this house at 170 Woodcrest Road. Yay, under contract. Such a blessing. Feeling like a fresh pair of sneakers on my feet. Super cute.
Oh, bars, spitting bars, Karen. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And even, Barry wrote a whole like thank you note for using the chat GPT to Wise Agent and our team here. That's awesome. Like you can do all these things that will make things sound more personalized, and Saeed is saying this, it will definitely make the content very personalized for sure, because you can put that spin on it and say and prompt it to have it, prompt it to be, targeting whatever and whoever your audience is. But the key to it is segmenting your audience, right? So I forgot who it was. Was it Michael that had asked earlier on, like, how do I know who I'm going to be sending these messages to? Well, you've got to segment your audience. You have to go in there and put people in categories, right? Or in groups, whatever you guys want to call it. We call them categories here, and put them in those categories to say, like, well, this is the country club person, this is the, you know, the runners and the whatnot, right? I mean, you can, you know, what people's interests and hobbies are, and put them in those kind of categories, so then you know who you're talking to and what you would say to them that would appeal to them, so they could read the message. I mean, that's ultimately what you want. That's the objective. What do
I
you
got the
love?
best lyrics. I just, you know,
You're playing around. This was like, okay, well, like,
Why would
let's
you
come
send me
back
down
here,
this black hole?
class.
Yeah, seriously. You're like, Jay, please come back. I'm like, I'm chasing all these squirrels. I'll be right back.
I know I should have done it at the very end, like, okay, now you can start
Yes.
playing with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's
I'll
so
leave it for the end. We'll finish with this. It's a CRM hip hop
a hip hop
song.
song. Oh my gosh. Okay. We will have to end with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the whole thing, is that when you get to, you know, when you're building relationships with people and you're meeting people, like I met Jay years ago, and I think it was last year, maybe it was 2 years ago. He introduced me to somebody else, to Billy, who I'm not sure if she's on today or not, but Billy's a runner, she's an agent and a runner, just like Jay is. I'm not a runner. I'm not a realtor, but I met her, and I wouldn't have met her if it wasn't for Jay. But I know a little bit more about her even before I met her, because I knew how she was connected to one of my friends. And so that's
Right.
something that I would take note of. So now it's like, okay, well, this is how I got connected. And that's something that's valuable. So then you can use all of the tools at your fingertips, right? Not just the AI, not just the CRM, but then the knowledge that you have, that personal knowledge that you have of the other person, to send them a note, to, you know, call them and say something, to send them a text or whatever it is, you know how to carry on that conversation.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to mention that you know so much about me because I'm willing to share so much about me of who I really am. Right. And I think that's where agents sometimes fall short. When you first start, you try to create this persona of what you think your ideal client is looking for, rather than just saying, you know, this is who I am. You like me or you don't, you know, and
Right.
people are gonna be like, you know what, that J man, I like him. I like his energy. He's a little bit crazy. That's my person. Or they're gonna go, he's not for me.
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't ever
It's
have
okay.
to talk to you then, and it's a beautiful life,
Yeah.
right? Like
Absolutely.
you're pre-screening those clients. If you've ever had a transaction with a client where you're like, oh, we just don't get along, you don't have to worry about it because they'll never call you.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely. And I mean, and if they get to know you a little bit more online, so if you had a little bit more video content, a little bit more presence online, they would already know that they probably aren't a good fit for you. And if you're already feeling it from your perspective about them, they're probably feeling it too. And like, oh, I made a mistake going with this one that, you know, isn't, you know, like, they don't get me. You want to work with people that they get you, you get them. And, you know, and that's kind of the point, that you work with people with, you know, that, you know, like, and trust, right? We say
Right.
that over and over again. And
Over and
so,
over again.
yeah. And so when you put yourself out there on, you know, with YouTube videos, on posts on social media, doing whatever it is that you're doing, they're going to get to know you. And the ones that are attracted to you are going to, like, and not in that way, right? But like the ones that feel like, oh, I can definitely
Right.
see myself working with this person.
There's an affinity or a rapport that's built
Right.
from your authenticity. Because like when you hear like, know, and trust, it's important. I like that you mentioned that, because somebody may like you from that persona. Let's say they do, right? This imaginary person you created, they like you. They then meet you in person. They're not going to know you. It's not the same person as online. So now you've lost trust.
Right.
Forget it. Without trust, like no doesn't exist,
Yeah.
right? And so I think it's be yourself. They like who you are. Then when they meet you in person, they already know you a little bit. Like it's an incredible time of our lives where we can walk into a door and they already know us. It's a warm lead. It's not like 15 years ago I'd walk in and go, "Hi, I'm Jeremias. Nice to meet you. Let me tell you about my company and what we do." I'm walking in and they've watched my videos. They know how I am. They know I'm knowledgeable about real estate. All I have to do is not mess it up, right? Like, like they know, like, they're seeing my videos. They've gotten emails from me. They've gotten text messages from me. They've gotten direct mail pieces, right? They've gotten handwritten notes. So it's like land, sea, air, all the marketing that happens. And you guys do a great job of like marketing, right, to agents. We're getting all
Right.
these different ways. I'm like, Eleni, I've gotten like 9 postcards. She's like, that's right, because we don't mess around, right? It's top
Yeah.
of mind awareness. The more they see you, without having any listings whatsoever, you have an opportunity for them to go, Eleni, I see you everywhere, and you're gonna go, yeah, that's right. Okay, without even having the business, marketing is what attracts. You know, you got to think online and offline, and then have that marketing going to your hub. That's the hub and spokes of marketing in 2023, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I love everything that you said is that it is, if you don't have the trust factor, I mean, everything else is kind of like just a waste, right? You need to have, so being that authentic self. I was talking to someone earlier in the week and she was telling me, she's like, oh, I just don't do any videos. And I said, well, why not? She's like, because I just am too intimidated by it. I feel like I'm going to be terrible. I'm like, well, your first one will probably suck. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm going to be honest with
it
you.
will be, of course.
It probably will suck. I go back and I look at my first webinar and I'm like, oh, ooh. I said, a million times, there's, you're going to be your own worst critic in it. But if you don't do it at least one time and just get over that fear to
Right.
then, continue, and it's not all that bad. And it's like Jay said, like, okay, I might not be for everyone, and that's okay. That's cool. Just keep scrolling and it's okay. Always be pleasant and polite.
Yeah.
You can be nice about and kind, but you don't have to, you're not going to always jive with every single person on the whole entire planet. It's just never going to happen. And so that's that fallacy has to be kind of removed from your mind, because that does not happen. You're not for everyone, and that's okay. It's
Well,
okay.
and I think, like, I could have been you played hip hop and you bring up the hip hop lyrics. I
Yeah.
could have been afraid of that because I know I'm not going to do a great job. But the fact is not that I did a bad job. It's that I wasn't afraid to do it.
Right.
Right. It's that I can make fun of myself because I'm going to have fun. We're all human. We all make mistakes. And the more personal and the more real that it is, then the more universal, right? The more people can identify with it and go, man, I wouldn't have had the guts to do that, but he did it. I like him because he's not afraid of anything. Right. And so I think it's people will respect you more. I think your biggest fear should be that you don't reach your fullest potential. Not you don't sell the most, amount of houses possible. It's like you didn't reach your fullest potential because you weren't your true authentic self, and so you robbed the world of your presence.
Right. Well, and what's that one saying? Like, your biggest regret is not actually going for it, right? I mean, that if you at least try it and then you're like, that was really rough. Like I couldn't do it. And it's okay. But if you keep trying, like with a video, you're not going to get it on the very first try. Trust me, I've tried. I know what I'm talking about here, but you're not going to
Yeah,
get it on your very first try. And you
I
have
got a
to
lot of
just start
videos too.
getting right. You just have to get comfortable with it, and obviously prepare, and just get comfortable in your own skin, and be comfortable in your surround. Do whatever it takes for you to get comfortable, right? Have a friend on that makes you comfortable, right? And that can bring and make you shine, and surround yourself with your cheerleaders, right? With the people that cheer you on and want to see you succeed. You should have people like that in your life. And then that's how you kind of get over that hump of, okay, I'm going to do this video. And
Right.
then, and it'll be okay. No one's going to throw tomatoes at you. I promise. No
Well,
one.
and even to bring it back to the GPT, it's like, write me a script for a video on top things to do in Scottsdale.
Right.
It'll write it for you, help you be more comfortable, at least have bullet points. And it's just like, just do it. Make your dreams come true.
I love that. I love that. I mean, and it should be something that, and I think that's what we when we started this, this session today, this webinar today, we were talking about, like, how do we get over that hump of, oh, I don't know what to say, or I have this fear of I'm going to say the wrong thing. So if you're feeling like that, if you have that anxiety of that, that's what this AI writing assistant will do, is help you get over that fear. So you're not feeling like, oh, I'm going to sound foolish, or I'm not going to say the right thing. Well, let this be kind of your, your checker of your content. So then when you are writing content, you're not, you have something to check it up against, and then it will sound great. So for you to be able to send it out to the masses. So I think that's really, yeah.
Michael says, is the AI writing assistant. I wish it was. Listen, this AI had 1 million users in the first week, guys. In the first week. That tells you the kind of 2023 buzzword is AI. Me, myself, and AI. Me, myself, and AI.
Yeah, there's and Saeed is saying will remain free for the time
Probably
being.
not.
For the time being, it is. I can't.
I think there's just like many apps and programs. There's going to be a free version. They're already releasing like a pro version slowly, and there'll probably just be a little bit more features. I don't know what that'll be like. Probably saving stuff on the actual chat.openai.com. But when you guys use it within Wise Agents, like you get that response, copy, paste. Now you have it saved forever and ever.
Yeah.
And ever.
And that's the thing, is that it becomes part of your library of content. And so now you're building up this library of content, and you could, I would say probably even name it. So, like, okay, this is for, goes into this group of 2023, because things change, the market changes, the, whatever, rates and everything else, and the houses and everything else that you're doing changes. So make sure that you're putting in, when you're grouping it or saving it, you're putting in what it is that you, when you did this, so then you can be very kind of a little bit more, aware of when this was written. That's kind of, that's an important part. Very honest. Yes, I try to be up front and forthcoming with information. I don't know what's going to happen with them. For right now, it's a minimal, very minimal for the API connection. And again, this is not something that you have to go out and create any kind of account. So you don't, I know Jay's been talking a little bit about, and we both have mentioned like OpenAI, and that's the company that created the software. You don't have to go out and create that. Create an account with them. I know earlier this morning, I tried going to their site and it was down because it's overloaded with people using it. So we are using, we're using their API, which stands for Application Protocol Integration. So we just talk to their backend, to their servers. So I'm not
like what, I just learned. I never knew what it stood for. I was like,
yeah. So we're not going directly to the site and doing anything. It's just going, from the back end. So we're not being, we're not in that same queue as everybody else. So it's a little bit different. But, obviously that might even change when we have an integration with the company. We both jointly control things. So as long as their servers are maintained properly, then we should be good. But also, yeah, so we'll do what we can to keep everything up and free, if that's what it takes. So I know, Jay, you wanted to, I know you wanted to end with something. You going to end with a wrap, or what are you doing? Did you have
you want to do that? Are we ending?
Well, we've got 7 minutes. I don't know how long your song, I don't even know what you're doing.
30 seconds.
Oh,
this is it won't be long. I had it right. 90s hip hop lyrics about a customer relationship manager for real estate.
Oh, okay. Well, then before we get to that, and then I'm going to just make a
Let's
quick,
hit with one more nugget.
I know. I want to make a quick thing, because I want everyone to see, because we have a lot of people still with us. I wanted to just share my screen one last time, so everyone is kind of understanding on where we're going to get to this AI. So if you're logged into your Wise Agent account, you just click on our marketing drop down and go to our content library. This is something that we updated late last year, and then go to create letter email content or text content. Either one of those will have the writing assistant. And then you click on this writing assistant button here, and this is where you would put in your prompts. Okay. And so it's really important when you put in your prompt, you be as descriptive as you want to be, however you feel, the need to be. And then that's where you can save all of the text that it comes back once you, and I'm just going to cheat so I don't have to type. Once you put this in here, then you can go ahead and save this content for a later time. You don't have to keep going back out and doing this. If this is, you're writing this email, you can go ahead and just save this content now. And this is something that you can use over and over again. Okay. So I can say our email about Arcadia. Okay. Right. So now you can go ahead and do everything that you need to do and save this. And then this will be something that's stored now in your content of library. So when you are maybe, I don't know, getting a lead in from your website about a property in Arcadia, you could create the lead rule that says,
Right.
Hey, this is, the response is going to be part of the content. Oops, wrong button. Hold on.
Yeah, you could say like lead comes in from Arcadia, reply with this, or it could even be like reply with this and give them a downloadable or something like from a landing page that they could,
right.
would you like our additional top 5 things to do in Arcadia? Boom. And it has, additional things. And that's where you start collecting leads, because that's what, marketing without the collection of leads is just top of mind awareness. And I know some of you are like, I need the leads. I need the leads.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I can't remember what I named it. So there it is. Right. And so now you save that content, it comes in here, and this is where it gets stored. And so that's the power of that, right? Where you can save that content and reuse it over and over and over again, because you don't have to you can send the same message out to the appropriate people. You don't have to keep rewriting the same thing if they're asking about the same concept, right? You just always want to be sure of what your objective is and the subject matter and the person that you're sending this to, and everything will just kind of mesh in and fit in properly. So that's how that would work. Okay. I just wanted to show it one last time.
Amazing. You ready?
Yes, go for it.
Different beat. See if this fits. This is about Wise Agent, the CRM for real estate, the only choice. I got a call from a client, need a place to reside. It ain't just any agent, CRM for the side. I got the listings, I got the leads. I'll find you the spot that'll meet all your needs. Like a matchmaker, I'm the plug. Gonna catch you the perfect property, one you'll love. Wait, here we go. I'm the CRM, the customer relationship manager. I'm the one who take your new home like a savior. I got the keys, I got the access. I'll make your next move is nothing but the best. I got the data, I got the stats. I'll show you the trends and where the market's at. I'm always on the grind, I'm always on the hustle. Deal the best deal like a big muscle. I'm a pro, I'm the best. From renter to owner, put you to the test. Then the chorus hits, and then Eleni goes, I'm the one you call when you need a place to lay your head. I'm the one you call when you want to get ahead. I'm the one you call when you want the best. I'm the CRM, take your top like the best. Oh, let's go. That's it. I got another scene I gotta get to.
That was amazing. The music was a little bit louder than what you were, but it was absolutely amazing.
We'll redo it later.
Yes, we will redo it. I can see that now being repurposed as a reel. I will definitely save this portion of the webinar and keep it. I will make that my ringtone for you. Is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make that my ringtone for you. Anytime you call me, that's going to play. So
perfect.
Thank you so much, Jay, for being on and for sharing all your valuable information per usual. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone else that was on. You guys, this is a really exciting, and I kind of beat my marketing team to all of this. So we're going to be doing more informational releases on this. So if you want to join our Facebook community, you can, get more information from there. And of course, contact our support team. Next week, I'm going to be on with one of my I'm calling on all my friends and I'm like, hey, you guys want to come on and chat with me? So my friend, Nikki Beauchamp and I are going to be talking about how busy agents are using their CRM to stay in control of their real estate business, right? So
that's great. Yeah.
Yes.
Tune in for that.
Yes.
Nikki's awesome.
Yes, Nikki is awesome. I love her. So we're going to be chatting on February 1st at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard, which is, I think, the time zone that I'm in.
12 o'clock Eastern.
12 o'clock. Is that 12? Thank you.
11 Central.
Thank you for the conversion. I have to always use my time buddy. But thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for being here. And thanks so much, Jay. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Guys. See you next week. Bye.
Great day.